I feel like a lot of things can be simplified. We just as humans overcomplicate things sometimes. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Nia TV. If you're new to my channel, I'm Nia. If you're not new here, hey y'all. You can tell by the title, I'm gonna be talking about friendships today. So y'all know I always write everything down in my journal. The first thing I wrote down is when a friend ghosts you because they're going through it. I'm that friend who does that. And one thing I want to say is you have to give your friends grace. It's hard to communicate that you're going through something, especially when you don't want to put your energy onto someone else. Also, unpopular opinion, but I don't feel like your friends have to talk about everything with you and tell you every single thing that they have going on. Sometimes they may be dealing with something that they feel like you cannot help them with. So you have to give your friends that grace because they need that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes you may have moments where you may just need a little bit of space. We all just need space sometimes, and that shouldn't result in you calling your friend fake. Like, to have a long-lasting friendship, you really do have to be mature about a lot of things, and you have to accept the fact that your friends have a life outside of you. You are not the main character in their lives, and that's okay. You're the main character in your life. So take time for yourself and give your friends time for themselves as well. You never know what someone is going through or dealing with until y'all have a real, genuine conversation. And sometimes that conversation needs to be had in person because texting sometimes can, you know, misconstrued or miscommunication can go on when that happens because you don't know someone's attitude, you don't know their expression, you don't know, you know what I'm saying? So some things, just give people time and they'll come to you when they're ready to talk about it. One thing I realized within myself is that I was projecting onto my friends, not even just my friends, but the people around me, my friends and family. I was projecting onto them that they were projecting onto me. So if I felt like, for example, if I felt like I wasn't smart enough and they made a joke and was like, oh, you're so dumb, like jokingly, I would take that really to heart because it's like my fears and insecurities would be coming out and that would be triggering that in a way, you know what I'm saying? So, or I would just always feel like everyone's doubting me because I'm going down a different path in my life when really most people probably aren't doubting me. Or if they are doubting me, I mean, that's their business, but I'm creating things in my head that's not even really true. I always just tried to feel like I just know exactly what's going on. I know how everyone is thinking towards me when really I don't. And I wouldn't know unless they bring that to my attention. So one thing I had to realize is stop projecting onto other people that they're projecting onto me. I mean, I feel like we all kind of project in a way. All of our opinions and things like that is a projection. Like when we give people advice, I mean, that's our own projection. Something different could happen for them, you know what I'm saying? So I just had to kind of just stop over analyzing so much in my head and thinking that people are thinking so much about me because really sometimes you're not as important as you kind of make up in your head. Like people are going through their own things. They got car problems, house problems, kids, life. They're trying to find their own purpose. They're not really thinking about you how you're thinking. They're not thinking about the embarrassing moment that you had in 3rd grade. They don't care, you know what I'm saying? Like some people, they probably really are obsessed with you and thinking about you, but for the most part, I don't think people are just sitting around just thinking about us. Like we give the negative too much power sometimes. Another major thing is I was not always a good friend. I feel like I had to learn how to be a good friend through trial and error. Like, I remember at one point, I just was not always a good friend. I was not always a loyal friend, and I had to learn that. And sometimes you have to be hurt to really learn that. And I feel like you also have to be mature enough to know your shortcomings or to know like when you could have been a better friend. Because we are not perfect. We are not always right. I know our ego wants us to think that we're just always in the right and we just always know what's best, but sometimes we don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was not always the best friend. I was not. And you know, I had to realize that and stop trying to sugarcoat it or, you know, justify it. Like, no, I was a bad friend. And I feel like when you're aware of it and then when you make the actions to do better, that's what it's about. It was really only one person I could say that I really was not the best of friend to, and I still to this day I want to reach out to her and be like, I'm so sorry. Like, we saw each other and all that, talked all that, it was all cool, but we never talked about that actual situation, and I never got the chance to apologize. And it happened in high school, and I just be thinking now, like, I really want to reach out and apologize, but it's just been so long now. Like, we saw each other in person and everything was cool and we talked, but I never got to just like sincerely apologize. So I want to know y'all opinion about that too in the comments. Like, do y'all feel like, and I know also people be saying like some people are just apologizing to clear their conscience and get over guilt, but for me it's not that at all. It's because I really want the other person to know, like, you really did not deserve that out of a friend. And I hope you're experiencing genuine and real friends now, because I realized that was really not right. So how do y'all feel about apologizing? Like, does it have to happen in a small time frame? If it's years past, like, do y'all think that someone should still apologize, or do you feel like you should just let it go? Because I don't know, like, I'm cool with doing either one, but I really be wanting to apologize to people if I know I'm wrong. I don't care how much time has passed. I just be wanting to apologize, but I don't want them to think that I'm apologizing to clear my conscience, because that's not what it's about. Favoritism in friendships, I feel like that happens a lot in like group friendships. I feel like this is hard because I feel like each friend has their own relationship individually, and sometimes one friend may have been there with another one through some tough times that another friend may have not been there through, you know what I'm saying? Or one friend may feel more nurturing than the other. I just feel like you have to kind of stop trying to control people and control what you want them to do, because you just gotta allow people to do what they want to do organically. The favoritism thing, like, as you get older, you can't be trying to possess people. Like, they have their own lives. If someone has a special connection with another friend, you feel jealous, and maybe y'all should sit down and talk about it. Like, that's another thing. Like, you have to have difficult conversations in friendships. Like, you really, really, really have to, and not be mad about when your friend brings something up that bothers them, but really try to listen and understand where they're coming from, because in long-term friendships, it's going to be something that bothers you, something, especially if y'all are like close friends. Like, it's easier if you're like a long distance friend, but if y'all are like close friends who see each other, and you have to have those difficult conversations, because if you don't, then that's just going to build secret animosity and everything else. Like, you have to talk about the things that really bother you. I know it's a popular thing right now on TikTok to say your icks of like your friends and family and stuff like that, and I feel like that's important. Like, tell me what you don't like, because how will people know what's bothering you unless you say that? People are not mind readers. You really have to tell them sometimes, I don't like when you do this, I don't like when you do that, so that they can do better, or it's just going to keep annoying you every time they do it. And I feel like a lot of things can be simplified. We just as humans overcomplicate things sometimes, or be moving in our ego and just be wanting to be right, and that's not what friendships and relationships are about. All that have to go out the window. If you want long-lasting friendships, you have to give people grace, you have to forgive, you have to have those difficult conversations, or your friendship will just be over. I was talking to my friend about this too. Like, as you get older, I feel like your friends, everybody goes down different paths in their lives, and sometimes your friends don't have the same interests as you. And I realized that you don't have to cut your friends off simply because y'all don't relate anymore. But it is okay to get newer friends that relate with the newer parts of you. You don't have to just stay stuck to one thing your whole life, even in friendships. Give yourself and your friendships a chance to grow But you don't have to just be so quick to just cut people off either, unless they're just negatively affecting you. Then, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you need to do. You have to love your friends how they need to be loved, and not how you think they should be loved or how you think they should be cared for. Say, for example, because I feel like love languages matters in friendships too. Like, say your friend is very just into candles, but you get them a plant knowing that they're not into plants. I mean, yes, it's a nice gesture, but you know they are not into that. So yeah, you're thinking it's nice, but they probably don't even care for that. You know what I'm saying? You have to get to know your friends just like you have to get to know someone in a romantic relationship. And I feel like you have to be intentional with the people that's in your life. Like, you can't just give them breadcrumbs or just give them whatever and just think that they're going to value you as a friend or as a person in a relationship. Like, no, you have to be intentional and be thoughtful and caring. And unless you're okay with surface level friendships, because that's fine too. Like, it's a place for everyone. But with the people that you spend your time with, things should be intentional, and it should be thoughtful, and it shouldn't just be whatever. Doesn't matter about how thoughtful you can be when you give gifts. Sometimes it's just about really listening to them when they speak and not making everything about you, and vice versa. And that's really true. Like, when it comes to gifts, I feel like sometimes a lot of people give gifts not even for the other person, but for themselves, to make themselves feel good. So that's what I mean when I say, like, really listen to your friends. Like, if you know they're into one thing, why would you? And yeah, I feel like it's the thought that counts, but as the years go on, it just feel like, why are we friends if you don't really listen to me? Ask them questions too. Like, that's another thing. Never feel like you just know somebody completely. We are all growing. Don't feel like you just know this person. Like, I know she doesn't like to eat this. Like, no, let her grow, because that makes people feel like they're boxed in, like they can't be more. You know what I'm saying? Like, give people space to grow and to like different things, to explore. Don't make your friends feel like they're just boxed in. Let them know that you support them constantly evolving and changing into who they really are meant to be. It takes a certain type of forgiveness and maturity to have long-lasting friendships, and grace, a lot of grace. I was talking to my mom about something too, and she was telling me how, and I was really moving in my ego, because I'm like, this, that, and that. I feel like they're jealous. I feel like this person is jealous. I feel like they're this, and I was talking to my mom, and she was just like, wait, because everything is not about you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people see things in you that trigger insecurities in themselves. And I had to stop for a minute. I was like, that is really true. Like, you never know someone's family situation. You never know what they're dealing with, you know, just in their personal and mental life. Like, you just never know every detail to just be making everything about you. Some things are not about you. Some things are about you, but a lot of times it's not about you. Sometimes you're triggering something in someone else, and that's why you shouldn't just jump to you have to have real conversations with people. Like, how are you feeling today? Like, what's been up? Like, what's been going on? And then as you talk to people, sometimes you'll realize, like, wow, this really was not about me. They're going through their own things too. They're human too. And that's why I love Sounder. I love the meaning of Sounder. I think the meaning is, I'm probably gonna mess it up, but I think it is, every passerby you see has a life as complex and vivid as the one that you're living. Like, they have their own ups and downs. They have their own things going on just like you do. And it just makes me feel like, you know, that just kind of grounds me back down and reminds me that everything is not about me. Like, yes, this is my life. Yes, I am the main character of my life, but also I can hold space for other people to live their lives. And I feel like you have to have that respect for your friends and that love for your friends. And you have to keep in mind your why too with your friends. Like, why did we become friends to begin with? Obviously, it was something we saw in each other. It was a love that we shared for one another. So I just feel like you have to give that respect to your friends. And another thing that a lot of people say is like, women, we give more chances to like romantic relationships than we do to our friendships. And I feel like that is very true. And I feel like I had to like I had to tell myself that the other day, because it's like, if I could send a paragraph to a man saying how I feel and all this, I can do that to my friend. Like, I'm really finna let my friendship go, but I'm chasing a man? Like, that don't even sound right. That's very backwards. I'm not gonna chase a man either. Moving forward, I'm not giving no man as many chances as my friend moving forward. But just that simple fact, like, just thinking about that, it's like, I'm definitely finna try and communicate with my friend if I can do this for a man. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, especially in your 20s, your friendships are changing so much. Some people are having kids, some people are in college, some people are still finding their purpose, some people are getting married, some people are buying houses, some people are renting houses, some people are still staying home, some people know what they're doing. Like, you have to give your friends grace. Some people are moving out of state. Some people are, you know what I'm saying, in abusive relationships. You just never know what someone is dealing with, and you have to give your friends space and grace to grow and to evolve. And that's what it's all about, just growing and evolving and giving each other space to be free and not to control or possess each other. Your friendships are supposed to be a place for like love, and just keep in mind the love. Like, we can get sidetracked by our ego and being right and wrong and this and that, but at the end of the day, y'all was in each other's lives because of love. And you have to remember that even when you're mad, like, this is my friend for real, and not let your judgment be so clouded by your ego. But definitely don't stay in those situations or friendships if you feel like it's really draining you and putting just hate or just really bringing you down. I don't care how long, I don't care the history, I don't care none of that. If it's really like detrimental to your mental and emotional health, do what you need to do to let it go. Whether that's friendships or romantic relationships, do what you need to do to let it go. Hey y'all, well, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. It's just a few things I've just been learning about friendships. I have a whole journal of just random, like, just things, epiphanies that I've been having about friendships, relationships, life, just everything, meditation. So it's a lot of videos coming soon, so stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed, and I really want to start having discussions too. So like, leave me your opinions too. Like, I don't feel like I just know everything. So yeah, I'm just happy to be building, you know, a community here of free spirits. And yeah, I'm excited for all the new videos. So I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.